Hi, Andy.
Hi there, Ellen.
I couldn't find Luke, so I've trapped you in this room.
I mean, he's probably around somewhere. He's pretty tall.
Spot
him in a crowd.
He's hard to lose.
Yeah, he's good for meeting back at. Because you can see him in a crowd. You're like, we'll meet you back here at 2 o'clock at Luke.
At Luke.
So wherever he is.
But sadly, he's not around, so I've kidnapped you because...
always something, isn't it?
We stopped doing these videos for a while because basically no video games were coming out. So we weren't able to do our monthly videos about video games. And but now, fingers crossed, the release schedule is a little bit more back to normal. So I thought we'd bring it back. And okay. Andy, it's Games of May, so it's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Tabletop juggernaut.
All that I do is not enough for you. Don't wanna lose
is the VO
it.
bit. I've got a script
but
here,
I'm
Andy.
not like
Andy,
that.
we're running out of time.
When finally you get to love. Guess what? It's May.
We've not gone to karaoke
in May
for a long time, so it's all pent up.
And you know there are games in May.
Tabletop juggernaut Warhammer 40k gets another video game. Chaos Gate Daemonhunters follows the Grey Knights as they hunt down a dark plague known as the Bloom in this fast-paced, turn-based tactical RPG. As you fight indestructible environments, your choices will affect which planets do and don't survive. Warhammer 40k, more like Warhammer 4k, because that's resolution.
Was that fight indestructible environments or fight in destructible environments?
Fight in destructible environments.
I was going to say, how are you going to fight an indestructible environment?
Just punch a wall.
It's indestructible. The Grey Knights, that's not very exciting.
No, but
Sound quite boring.
But they're described as humanity's greatest weapon, and they do have...
Humanity's greyest weapon.
Well, they have a cult design. They've got, like, lightning. They're very kind of, like, it's very holy kind of looking, you know, that sort of, you know, they're going against the demons, that very middle-age, religion-y aesthetic.
Right.
It's quite interesting stuff, but it's also, like, in space, so they're, like, wearing... Like, it's all the armour.
So sorry, this is what, a tactical RTS game?
Yeah, it's turn-based tactical RPG. So it's but it's quite a fast-paced one, going by all the footage that I've seen.
Like an action RTS.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But it looks quite interesting. And you build facilities, do research, but then you also go out on the fun combat missions where you go and hit things.
Cool.
So it's...
Well, I do enjoy a Warhammer.
Yeah. So. Also, Andy, the Grey Knights are customizable, so they're not...
They don't have to be grey.
That. Well, they do. I think they do have to be fairly... But I don't...
But you could... Should be able to be the yellow and purple knights.
Yeah.
Him in Lakers colours. Don't know why.
Look out for eldritch horrors in upcoming roguelite Source of Madness. Very much taking inspiration from all things Lovecraftian, this procedurally generated 2D side-scroller is host to lots of nightmare-looking creatures for you to murder with magic, as a new acolyte in the Loamlands. Initially released on early access on Steam in 2021, it gets a full release this May and comes to consoles too. So this looks really interesting art style-wise.
Oh, okay.
So have you played Undertale?
I have, yes.
So you know the very weird boss fight right at the end, not spoiling who it is, but it's a very weird looking kind of Photoshop nightmare looking thing.
You can bleep this, but...
Yeah. It
looks
like
real,
every
photographs
monster. It's very much like, everything's more like oil painting looking-y, but it's really intriguing and everything's quite floaty, and I was just like, ooh,
sounds upsetting.
Yeah, and it kind of looks a bit like Blasphemous, that sort of thing, and Dead Cells, that's the sort of gameplay it looks like, but like with that very fancy looking art style over the top.
I'm always into a roguelike or a roguelite as well. After Hades, I was really into those.
Yeah.
So yeah, love Dead Cells, love roguelites.
Also, it's procedurally generated, so everything's a little bit different every time you play. So that's similar to Hades. You know, everything was a little bit different every time you went in.
All right, sounds good.
The Centennial Case, a Shijima story, is a live-action mystery adventure game centering around the Shijima family and the series of unexplained deaths haunting them. You play Haruka Kagami, a mystery writer, and go back in time to attempt to solve 4 murder cases over the past 100 years. You'll gather clues as you watch the mystery unfold on video. It's your job to find out who is the Scarlet Camellia. So basically, have you ever
This
seen...
sounds like exactly my jam.
Yeah. Like, have you seen the top series, Castle? Where the mystery writer joins the NYPD following a detective who's a murder detective and like kind of gets inspiration from them and like helps solve murders.
That's stupid. You can just make things up if you're a writer. You don't have to go and look at actual horrible murders. Just make it up.
Yeah, but it's
the point.
It's my trash TV that I love.
All right, fine.
You're the writer kind of going back in time. I'm not like trying to decipher from the trailer whether you're like actually going through a wormhole or you're just like playing it out in an imaginary realm. It's really interesting, and you're kind of like working alongside a descendant of these people, and yeah, it's all live action. So you kind of
an FMV game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So we might have to get Andy on the channel to play it.
Luke and Andy's FMV zone is coming back.
Yes.
Oh, I hope it's like Goosebumps Escape from Horror.
But it kind of like each one like ends
Put a card to that up somewhere.
Yeah. Every case kind of ends in, you know, the Agatha Christie, Poirot, you're in a room and he's like this and this and this. But the thing is, if you get it wrong, like there's some
It was the Dowager Duchess.
Yeah. Basically, it does that thing where it's the same cast each time.
But they're all in
but
different
they're all
wigs and
playing
mustaches.
different roles. Yes. So it's, you know.
Yes.
This is exactly Andy's jam.
Gonna
oh
solve
my
some
god.
time crimes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Oh wait, we've got more games to talk about.
Yeah, sorry.
Fine.
Strap your chainsaw arm on nice and tight. Evil Dead, the game, comes to PC and all 3 consoles. Team up as classic Evil Dead characters to kill zombies with satisfying looking finishers. Or, if you're feeling bad, you can play as the Kandarian demon, hunting down the heroes and even possessing them. Or you can haunt objects in the world to really freak them out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this looks fun. It looks very Dead by Daylight, but with some additional things. Like there's a bit where in the trailer where it like haunts a tree and goes as you walk past it.
Oh man, the trees from Evil Dead, they're always dragging you across places with their vines and their roots.
And the real Bruce Campbell is in this. Like he voiced the trailer and everything. So
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got loads on.
I think
I love Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is genuinely one of my favourite actors.
Yeah.
I love Evil Dead so much.
Yeah. There's no more Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, so he's not got much on at the
He
moment.
was going to be Mysterio, you know. That's why they were sort of.
That would have been so good.
They were seeding him throughout as it's like he's always there, like foiling Spider-Man. But then that never happened. But we got Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
good. Have you
he
seen
was
any
excellent.
Evil Dead films?
I have not actually. Like I feel like I know so much about the series just through like osmosis of like you know, it's very much
it started out as like really low budget like grindcore horror.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Really nasty like video nasty stuff. And then the second one they sort of remade the first one and it got a bit more silly, and that's the one where he cuts his hand off and replaces it with a chainsaw. And like his hand is possessed and it's sort of running around and he puts a bucket over it and then puts a heavy book on it, and the book is called A Farewell to Arms. You know. So hopefully they're sort of leaning into that like ludicrously over the top sense of humour.
There's a bit where like someone opens a chest, I think it is, in the trailer, and then a bunch of tiny Bruce Campbells jump on it.
Yes, that's from the third one. He's like looking at himself in a mirror and there's an evil version of him in the mirror and he smashes it, and then all the shards of mirror, like little Bruce Campbells, jump up out of them. And they're all like running around trying to get him.
So it's a reference, because I remember watching the trailer going, what the heck is that?
And then he swallows one and it's all like getting him from the inside, and then he boils a kettle and pours boiling water in his mouth and kills it. These films are great. And the game is going to be, I'm very, very excited for this. This is one of my most anticipated this year.
Vampires in Boston have come under attack in Vampire the Masquerade Swansong, and the prince calls upon her most trusted allies to work out what the hell happened. You play as Caleb, Laisha and MM as they investigate what happened and try to protect the Masquerade. CSI Vampires.
Okay.
You're investigating to A, find out what happened, and also just like cover up any evidence of vampires.
Isn't what happened vampires?
Well, we don't know.
Well,
It's
a couple of
what you've
pinpricks
gotta
on the neck here, drained entirely of blood.
The 3 different characters seem to have 3 different not properties to them. Like, what's the word when you like?
Abilities, archetypes?
Yeah, sort of. One of them is very can chat to anyone and can ease themselves socially into a situation. One of them's kind of more I'm gonna kind of sneak in and cart away evidence without anyone seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them is kind of you will tell me things, okay? Because I'm gonna look at you with my vampire face, and you're gonna be like, ugh. So it looks.
So they have different specializations.
Specializations. That's the word that I wanted. And I think it looks intriguing. And I think Oxbox are big.
Third person?
It's like third person, lots of conversations. It looks like, the kind of investigative bits of the Batman Arkham games where in City, where it looks a little bit like that. Cool. But it's sort of Ace Attorney-ish, when you're chatting to people and trying to find things. And, Oxbox, you love your Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of Vampire the Masquerade games. They sort of seem to come out semi-regularly.
Yeah.
But crucially aren't Bloodlines too.
Yeah.
So, the world of Vampire the Masquerade is awesome. So any more time you get to spend in there, I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
That also sounds up my street. Investigation and talking to people and
all as sexy vampires.
Figuring out crimes. All right, sounds good. Deal. I'm in.
Like sci-fi? Like horror? Like sci-fi horror? Then Dolmen may be the game for you. In this action RPG, you'll explore the space mines of Revion Prime and murder a bunch of horrible alien creatures. Oh, and try to get your hands on a sample of Dolmen, a crystal with reality-bending properties. So
it's not a villain called Dolmen?
No, sadly not. It's
hoping for Chucky in space.
Yeah, no, sadly not. It looks very Returnal, kind of art style-wise.
Okay.
But it looks more like it plays more like a Dark Souls game by the look of it.
I'm into those.
They do, yeah. We've got you hooked with Elden Ring now, haven't we?
That's right.
It doesn't look as fluid as a Dark Souls game. So trailer showing now, you'll probably see that it looks quite, slow and methodical, the fighting. But there's promise there. It's kind of it looks more along the lines of The Surge. Hopefully more like The Surge 2, which was an improvement. I'd like to apologise to any Swedish viewers watching, because Dolmen is euphemistic for a particular body part. The game makers didn't do the research in Sweden, it seems, so it's just quite funny looking at the trailer comments. Yeah. They were the Dolmen. This is my kind of game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks intriguing, but with a hesitation of it might be a little bit slow.
All right.
Might be a little bit.
We'll bear that in mind.
But yeah.
There aren't any Dolmens in it for Swedish viewers.
No.
So just don't be disappointed.
If there are, you can't see them. It's okay. This isn't cyberpunk.
Tasteful pixelation.
Sniper-based gun series Sniper Elite gets its 5th installment. Pick off your enemies one by one from a distance in a game that rewards good hits with gruesome takedown animations. Working with the French resistance, you'll have to infiltrate Nazi fortifications and take out high-ranking officers and stop Operation Kraken. So, more shooting from a distance, making things explode.
More incredibly anatomical kill cams.
Yeah.
You don't have to play those games stealthily and snipe people.
No.
Mike, in fact, has played this game, and it all went a bit Mike.
I'm going to fully explode him. I'm sorry. It's just how I do. Come on, buddy.
He'll lead the target.
It's all right. I'm sure he'll stop, probably. Any time now, surely.
He's as good at crouch walking as you.
Oh, he's going to the body. It's like a booby trap. Here we go. Oh, you fool. Boom.
It
You're
leans towards the sniping,
Yeah.
and it gives you some other stealth things when you're infiltrating, because you're infiltrating this huge fortification basically at one point, and so you've got your stabby to sneak up, stabby, and then pew.
This is a great series, though. I would say that it is more rewarding when you play it the way it's supposed to be played, but it is quite cathartic sometimes to just be like, oh, sod it, I'm taking a Tommy gun. I'm just gonna. Yeah, so you can play it both ways. But yeah, it's a great series, and hopefully, this new one just continues doing what they do because it's fun, and the kill cams are never not incredible to watch.
They are amazing.
Yeah, you learn a lot about human anatomy.
Yeah, you
And
really biology students get this game.
Where all the organs are, which organs you can do without. For example, if a sniper round goes through it.
So those are just some of the games coming out in May.
Pretty good, actually. I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
much in May, but we've got Evil Dead, we've got
Yeah.
Time Travelling Murder Investigator,
Yeah,
and we've got a new Vampire the Masquerade game.
Yeah.
So exciting.
it's really interesting. I think there's some really wild ones coming out next month. So like, I think this is a good month for kind of like just those interesting, quirky games that you might not have looked at to shine. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how
Check them
they
out,
play.
give them a go, and we'll see you next month for another one of these.
Yes.
The games for June.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. It's gonna be June.
How's it already June nearly?
I don't know. Still, games. They're good.
Yay.